Good evening. So I'm making this video today because I've had a little bit of time to process what happened yesterday. It's now Friday night, 11 o'clock at night, and it's taken me a good, um, say, 25 to 30 hours, somewhere in there, to really process everything. I had to go to court yesterday, and it was a trial, no jury. I didn't think it would be necessary, but don't ever do that. Always get a jury because DAs and judges always in cahoots and they like to play dirty games. Now I say that because in the court case I was dealing with, it was just a traffic ticket, but it was one I felt I was justified in the actions I took. Wasn't speeding, wasn't drunk driving or anything like that. I was at work. I'm a truck driver, so I was doing my job. And part of my job is to be safe and to also not damage property, including that of public property. Like ripping chunks out of the road. But the state trooper decided he didn't like the idea that I was trying to save the road and said, that line is there for traffic purposes. And when there's not that much traffic on a road, it's kind of, yeah, you should listen to it, but it's not exactly, how should I say, those lines don't take into account damage that's already been done to a road. The particular road I'm talking about is in Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin Highway 93 or 98 or 89 or 83. It's something like that. It's one of those roads, but it's going into the north end of Waterloo. Now, anybody who's been on those roads knows the condition of those roads. They haven't been maintained, not in good 10, 15 years. State Patrol officer said, oh, it was well maintained. No, dude, you're blind then. You didn't pay attention to any of it. There are cracks in this road, and these cracks run parallel to the flow of traffic. They are approximately 3 to 4 inches in width of chunks of asphalt between cracks, and if you drive over those with a fully loaded quad axle, you can rip chunks out of the road. Now, you're not going to just create potholes, but you could potentially throw those rocks into other vehicles behind you. I mean, does is that something that I should be doing? You know, in Wisconsin, you don't have mud flaps as a construction vehicle because it would get in the way of backing up the paving machines, or they would basically get ripped off the vehicle anyway. If we were dumping concrete on the ground, because concrete will latch onto those suckers and rip them straight off. I can't I can't even count how many times I've seen that happen, where you back up to a concrete machine and dump your load out, and you have to get out of your truck and go back there and dig your mud flaps out of the pile of concrete you just dumped on the ground. I've seen it happen quite a few times actually. I even seen it happen with dirt. So I mean, you can't tell me it doesn't happen. So that being said, mud flaps aren't even a thing. So there's nothing to protect anybody behind us from getting a rock thrown through their freaking windshield and smack them in the face while they're driving and causing a major accident, possibly even fatalities. And the state patrol officer thought somehow I was being a reckless driver by avoiding these cracks in the road, riding the crown of the road at times, and being a safe driver, paying attention to traffic that was coming towards me, both hands firmly on the steering wheel. Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth between my lane and the crown of the road because there were certain spots in that road where those cracks weren't so bad, so I could get back over in the lane. It's called a safety procedure, and I got thrown under the bus because this bitch of a DA decided that she wanted to scream objection relevance every single time I cracked my teeth. And the judge was all too happy to grant her objections. Not to mention that the state patrol officer brought video, but it was only maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles down the road on 89, and he'd been following me since Arlington, where the plant is that we load up at, which is a good 20 miles. He'd been following me all the way across the county. And he said, "Oh, I only started following you in the township of York, where it turns, where Highway V meets up." Like, no, you've been following me for a heck of a lot longer than that. He's like, "Well, how do you know that?" And I'm like, "Because I called your supervisor the day afterwards and checked with him how many unmarked vehicles were on duty at that point in time." And he said only one, because he has the other one, and he wasn't on duty. So reason why that matters is because there was an unmarked state patrol car, his state patrol car, because I saw his face behind the steering wheel, parked out alongside Highway V. Actually, not Highway V, I'm sorry, Highway I, which is a county road. No law against him sitting there. But that was the main route that we were taking to get down to the cross route that we were taking to get over to 51 to take down to V and ride V all the way across to 89. So it's like, he only had one purpose there, and that was to sit there and wait for somebody he thought he could pull over. That's called entrapment, and he never should have followed me. It's called catfishing, essentially. It's entrapment. You can't do that. You can't do that as a state patrol officer. And when I was trying to establish method, opportunity, and motive, every single time I'd even direct it in that direction, the DA would be like, "Objection, relevance." Like, I'm trying to get to why it's relevant, but I can't do it unless you let me paint the picture first. I can show you exactly why it's relevant. Establishing the location of the officer before the scene of the citation. That's what it is. Okay, that's all it is. And the funny thing about it is that the guy couldn't even remember. He suddenly had amnesia when it came to everything before when he started following me. He got convenient amnesia. It's sickening. So come Monday, now I don't know if you're welcome to comment, and please, if you see this and you're not already following me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and start following me here on YouTube. You'd really help me out with that. Because I don't even know how much longer I won't even drive with despicable tyrants like this running around. So I'm probably going to have to change careers, and this is the only other thing I can do until I can get money together to start buying tools for my own machine shop, because quite frankly, that's really what I want to do. Is I want to run my own machine shop, fixing small machines and fabricating parts, and maybe even doing a little bit of prototyping for the local farmers, because everybody's a bunch of good old boys up here. They like to do all bush fixes, and I can get with that. But which I'll probably end up streaming all that too. It's kind of what I want my channel to be about. But come Monday, I'm probably going to call up the Wisconsin Department of Criminal Investigations and put it to them, because there was another little piece that the judge didn't even want to see in the courtroom. But I tried to put it out there because I wanted to point out that this individual, this inspector, is prone to fabricating information in an illegal fashion. Now, I know that there's a Supreme Court case out there that allows cops to lie at the scene of an investigation, during an investigation, or even during an interrogation to get their prospective, to get their prospective caller to admit something. They're allowed to do everything that they can under the book, without violating your rights, and they'll even try to skirt those rights and try to weasel around it. They're good at that. Watch. They will try to violate your Fourth Amendment. They will try to violate your Fifth Amendment. They'll try to violate everything. They have absolutely no scruples, no honor. That's the problem in this country, is that our cops have lost all sense of honor. Now, after 2020, I think I could understand a little bit, but at the same time, during 2020, they allowed our cities to burn. And during 2020, they attacked American citizens. And after 2020, they assisted in the illegal arrest of American citizens. So, do they really deserve our respect anymore? Local police officers, I can see a lot of them probably still respecting it and still and still deserving of respect, and they still have honor at the very, very localest of levels. City cops, most of them are still really good. I've not met any of them that don't respect the law especially when you put it out there to them. So, this video is already 10 minutes long. It's going to take forever to upload, but everybody who watches this, stay awesome. Stay amazing. And I'll catch you guys next time. But let me know what you think in the comments. Should I file with the Department of Criminal Investigation about falsification of federal documents? Because that's what it was. As well as I want to try to get this judge, the DA, and even that officer all hemmed up on corruption and conspiracy to violate someone's civil rights and deny them a fair trial. Because this was not a fair trial. I could tell within 30 seconds of walking in that room that it was going to be a complete shit show. So thank you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back at you with more. Have a good evening.